Good evening. It's another Wednesday evening here on Xylophone TV. This is Short Business. My name is Kwesi Ernest. This is the only show you get entertained, informed, educated, and most importantly, get engaged here, on the show. So like we start with a conversation, your views and comment will be very much welcome here on the show. Nti wadwen kire kakra na de bia meka wo so nim de kakra ne komo no nya hyase na wa send it to our WhatsApp number na yetumi akan e wa ha ama bibia akoso ye senia meka ne de bia no we can only be a panel of about 4, but hey, you at home is also a panel yourself, and that's why you've got your ideas, views, and comments, and that's why you need to send it to us so that I can read it on the show. It's time to get entertained and educated here on the show. My name is Kwesi Ernest. This is Short Business. I do a quick break. When I come back, I will introduce my panel for today, and then we'll begin off with what is trending in the news, and then what we'll talk about later. We'll do a music video review, then get on with our main discussion here on the show. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Still Short Business. You might want to call a friend to inform them that, hey, Short Business is airing right about now. Your baby didn't come, your baby train come on. My panel for today means America, because and then come on a dorsal means America. So obviously we're going to talk about Shatawali, the Grammys. I get my panel to do a bit of detail into what goes into these things when it comes to Grammys nominations and who gets the recognition, when it happens like that. So my panel for today, as usual, is my very good brother, senior brother for that matter. The man the bano show business in the same one, or when him dear pan, watch managing artist when it comes to event also. He's always there. I'm talking about the CEO of Media Excel, Mr. Kwesi Ernest.
Yes, sir. How was the birthday week?
I will
call because you say, "Man, was a winu ka happy beauty."
Okay, all right.
But he says we are fish and kawe kaku.
There's a comedy joke here.
Oh, but on a more serious note, what found? How you the name of from the machine? I know the banner or Kam said, as a monk who's a create back. Now, from an original Dawson. And you need a ship Mujana Mokena, the free Mubian and summer back.
Okay, and also the gentleman that when we talk about events in Ghana and probably beyond, he's got it in his hub. He is the CEO of Events Guide magazine. I'm talking about Kevin. I call Kevin Events Guide. Whether like it or not, Kevin.
I know. I like it like that, man.
Everything
right now, I don't know.
Bia before.
Nyamiadum.
I was sick about.
Nyamiadum. Charlie come. Then ya the sense is the Mendo Kabim.
Oh, the Meka Kevin Kabim.
Because birthday no one frame me. The mu yan say boss man what me lefty to go so. But
yeah. All right, another gentleman, Yabano show business, same one. So the experience is undoubtedly, he's undoubtedly one of the best when it comes to showbiz here in Ghana and beyond. And he's a writer, he's an analyst, he's a critic, he's a board member of award schemes and all of that. So the man, Arnold Asamoah,
he's a pilot.
And a pilot. As a pilot.
You also been a pilot.
I do have a name. Thank you very much. You wish me back up. Mambo for
it was a slip of tongue.
Okay. Now let's come back to Short Business Matters. Welcome. It's always a pleasure having you guys. Most importantly, the education. I need to commend you guys also. The education you guys put out there. So far, people are saying that this is the only show they get educated, not just the entertainment bit of it every time. So a lot of times I go and people see me, so Kwesi Ernest, Arnold, Pano Bulldog, all these guys. Kelvin, you're on time, man.
Someone time for me.
Okay, now, and who be here say once again would educate the public on some of these things. We're talking nominations, and the Grammys nominations is out, and obviously there's a whole lot about Shatta Wale, you know, being nominated, not nominated as in, but Beyonce's The Gift album has been nominated, and for that matter, let me start with you. When it happens like this, when an artist features on an album, and for that we need to give big shout out also to Manifest also because of African Giant being nominated. Now, when an artist get featured on an album in an event like this, say the Grammys, Beyonce's album is nominated. Now, how far does this affect an artist like Shatta Wale or Manifest being also on two of these on Burna Boy's album?
All right. So Grammys no more rules. I mean, let's first of all, every award scheme here on the rules and regulations. And the Grammys is the topmost or the most prestigious music awards in the world.
Yeah.
According to our rules and regulations, no, there were major contributors of the songs and the albums, and there were minor contributors. So obviously, the major contributors will be the name that album cover, not so the artist or producer album. And then some other major contributors, not yet producers. You know, I'm not talking about the executive, I'm talking about the people, the engineers who actually work on the production.
Yeah.
Now, in the award, the major contributors, that's the artists and the producers. And after a couple of years, they extended the recognition to more minor contributors, the featured artists. So last year or a couple of years ago, they also had to extend the recognition to even songwriters. So if we contribute to more than 1/3 of the song on the album, you're also recognized. Okay. So the attendance said the likes of Shatta Wale and Manifest, by virtue of the fact that they are minor contributors to the nominated albums, they get to be recognized. However, if the albums no more, if they get to win, the only person that will bring a plaque on as the Grammy plaque is the artist. Contributors in a certificate to actually recognize that they played a major role in the making of the album. The artist has a certificate, but then however the other contributors will be mentioned as playing a part in the making of the album. So that's how far it goes.
So if the album, for example, doesn't win, it means that they don't get certificates. They only get mentioned.
They get mentioned. So Grammy when if anything platform behind every contributor behind regards to songwriters, producers, and the featured artists in cut as nominees. So they only get certificates when they win. But when we need it's just a critical mention. So you played a part in the making of the album or the nominated album, and that's where it ends.
Okay, I'll come to Kevin on how all this is playing out on the internet, and then to basically to events, you know. But let me bring in Kwesi Ernest. You've worked as an international manager for some of these, you know, artists. For if you were to be in, for example, a Shatta or a Manifest camp, and you are managing any of these talents, what would be the next of action you're going to put into this? Because obviously, you might also want to contribute in winning the category.
Okay, for me, as an artist manager, the mentions alone at this platform, for me, is the icing on the cake. And that's the expectation of every artist, that at that world level, I mean, the Gathering of the Giants, I mean, you are even recognized. And I keep saying that. When you are nominated, or like Arnold's, my learned friend described, if you are even a minor contributor, or anything, and your song or whatever you did is able to receive that recognition at that level, from even the person who even was holding Beyonce's back to the studio, all of you are seen as what? Winners of, you understand, you are seen as winners of the award. And also at that level is big. As an artist too, it's also important that we'll take the opportunity, we'll take the shine, and then market ourselves more. Possibly even be at the, if we have to be there, we have to be there. I remember once time, SP Officer got Afrima, the one in America, Afrima what? Afrima, right? Yeah. Double M. Yeah. The one with the double M. And we got nominated in America. And I know they will tell you the hustles I was with him. I said, no, I want to be there. Because for me, it was big. So having my artist being nominated at that world level platform. We struggle to, and then we felt that it got to, I said, no, it was not getting to us the way we wanted. So, personally, if I'm an artist manager and my artist got this recognition, hey, it's kudos to the artist. And I will let the artist himself feel proud, at least. His songs, I mean, that's where every artist wants to be. Okay. And so, either as a main act or as a contributor, or as a minor contributor, it's a good feeling, and the artist must get themselves excited about it. And so for me, that's it.
Calvin, how is this playing out on the internet? Because I mean, obviously, let me just say this carefully, that Ghanaians again would take this to the different level of trying to, you know, throw some artists and also make a whole case out of. I mean, it's huge for you know, Shatta Wale and then Manifest. Yes. Me
personally, said Arnold has really educated us. And I won't say it's not just Beyonce, but also so far as I fall into the contributors alone is okay. For the fact that now Ghanaian artists are going from just say Yawoka says be a beef near, you know, recently foresight for instance, you can see those unity. A book or nation will be combat. End of the day, because of saying we are all winning, you know, they try to all come together. I don't think there's going to be issue when it comes to shades and all that. You won't say when a win here for now. Right now it's an international stage, so I think they are all going to push, because I've seen tweets, I've seen people congratulating people and all that. So and I mean, who insult somebody trying to throw shades? I will be so hey master, I do a who has also you have to do A B C D. So I think that now these things are coming down, and then people are really supporting the two. Okay. Yeah, so I think it's
Arnold. If you look at people would say that what Burna Boy has done with the African Giant album, getting a whole album, you know, nominated on that level, and you look at in our case, getting two of our artists, for example, being more or less featured in albums nominated on this, should we be satisfied, or should we for example pinch ourselves and say that hey, we can do better, we can do more, or I mean we've not even done better at all?
For me, I would be surprised if any Ghanaian or music follower comes up and says he's extremely satisfied, or even the artists themselves, they come out and say we are extremely gratified with just being tagged as minor contributors. My brother, the Grammys is over 90 years old. Yes, Ghanaian music and its players, we've come very far. If after 90 years of the Grammys, we are still being tagged as minor contributors, yes, it's fine. The recognition is okay. You know, the critical mention at the Grammys is fine. But if you have artists from Mali winning Grammys, and we are still being tagged as minor contributors, Massa, we need to pinch ourselves and say we need to wake up. For example, Nigeria, they've been there several times. Burna Boy is not the first Nigerian artist to get nomination. Femi Kuti has been nominated 4 good times. King Sunny Ade has been nominated twice, and a few others. Fela has not been nominated. Sean Kuti has also been nominated once. So, I mean, it is not good enough that every time we say Ghana is winning by default or we nominated by default. No. At this critical stage, we should figure out how we'll be able to sell our albums, we'll be able to distribute our albums on the US market and get recognition as Ghanaian artists. Yes, we've had some. I mean, you remember Roku Dawini in 2013 was able to make that mark. And the blueprint is there. So I'm wondering why we are still dilly-dallying and daddling as to how we can get to the Grammys. It's simple. Ensure that you have international connection. Your album is distributed in the US market. It's a quality album. If you don't want to go on that tangent, ensure that your album, when it will be nominated in the world music like Burna Boy, he has 80% traditional elements in there, and that's it. So I'm wondering how after 90 years we were unable to get to that level. So for me, I don't think it's good enough.
Okay, because like Arnold mentioned, and then we clearly have, let's say, a striker who's obviously opened the door, like Rocky Dauni has done that. Are we failing to utilize the expertise or the experience or the importance of or the importance of his connections, like Rocky Down? Are we failing as an industry to make good use of that?
I don't think so. It's all about this younger generation. I mean, opening themselves, opening their veins for more blood to pass through, allowing themselves for these senior men who individually have been able to, to receive these nominations at their individual levels, playing major roles. And I'm talking about the major role, major nominee. I mean, leading them the way. Because you see, the idea, so what I say, it wouldn't be here than any pan where to achieve some excellence. You have to follow the footsteps of the person. So I'm thinking that we need to know what some of these Rocky Dawunis, what do you call it, the one in Australia, for Moses. All these international guys, they are there doing a lot. We need to follow what they are doing, particularly, especially. That is giving them, attracting them to this.
So the point where we need to, that's what I'm asking. So have we failed to making the need to possible?
Okay, it's a yes and no. In one breath, I think that we haven't really pushed ourselves more. It's much more or less like we are too comfortable within our zone, and it's also affecting our growth as individuals, as artists, as managers, and all of us. The systems that we need to pass through, the individual connection that we need to tap. Because trust me, it's like I know described, it's not just an easy to climb to that level. The systems to cross to even be able to be recognized at that level, I mean, goes beyond ordinary going for a radio interview or TV interview. It's a lot. If your own production, the song, what you are even putting on the CD itself, has to be weighed heavily before you can be recognized. You can't just throw anything there and then let people accept it.
Okay.
So in another way too, we have also maybe per circumstance. Our musicians are now getting themselves awakened to the environment they find themselves in. And now you could see that the top 4 class of artists or the top 5 artists that we have seems to be seeing the light. And now some of them are waking up that, hey, God, we need to stop all this nonsense beefing here and then get ourselves to the top. Because the beefing is just getting us connected to only $1,000. Okay. Whereas the chunk of $100,000 market is out there for us to chase. Good. So it's a yes and no thing.
Good point. And now we're wrapping up on this one. Then I'll bring in, I'll rope in the Stonebwoy matter. Okay, if we can go straight to the Stonebwoy matter, and then so Stonebwoy Kelvin Boy fight, who is right, who is wrong. Arnold. So there's this story on this page.
I mean, Kevin has to start this right.
No, I'll start with that. I bring Kelvin in. Arnold. I mean, what can you tell us about this one?
What is there?
You're asking Stonebwoy, Kelvin Boy, fight, who is right, who is wrong, and it's your story. Yeah. So I'm just asking, what can you tell us about?
Well, basically, I mean, we have all followed the proceedings with regards to Stonebwoy and Kelvin Boy, and it came to a head during the weekend 4-side music video. I was where Stonebwoy, in the middle of his performance, had to stop and make some commentary. It's allowed. I mean, artists sometimes, as part of their act or as part of their set, sometimes they break the music and they speak to the audience, and so that's very much allowed. However, what he said generated a lot of hoopla with regards to the 40 years that we need to wait to get
another.
Exactly, and then the fact that up and coming artists should respect. I mean, a lot of people felt he was throwing shades at Kelvin Boy, and for me, I felt that was unnecessary. After my article, I saw some people trying to do damage control in saying that Stonebwoy had an issue with some up and coming artists backstage, and so that's what triggered him to make that comment. I mean, that's crap. If there really was an incident backstage, we would have heard about it. I mean, which up and coming artist had an issue with somewhere backstage. I mean, clearly, if you are bold enough to make a statement, be bold enough to defend it. And for me, I thought that statement was unnecessary because, listen, you are the head of a label. You've actually booted the gentleman out of the label. What's there again? Focus on what is left. Focus on your craft. Focus on the international deals and international connections that you have. Focus on the records. That's what counts. I mean, what he does with his individual self, it doesn't matter. And so it was unnecessary for him to actually walk onto that stage and throw shades at Kelvin Boy. However, I also threw one at Kelvin Boy with his responses. I mean, I thought his responses were uncalled for, highly disrespectful and highly unnecessary. I mean, listen, when he left Beam Camp, a lot of us felt, or a lot of critics said he was disrespectful, he had ego problems, he had issues with regards to respect. And so by posting those responses, it gave credence to those critics and what they said. Again, why would you want to banter all the time? Do you have to respond? Sometimes you need to keep your cool. The essential thing for Kelvin Boy right now is to prove his critics wrong with the product, with the results, actually ensuring that your music is quality. You're getting high profile guests. And he talked about the fact that he gets shows weekends. Which shows? The fact that we get this small profile show doesn't mean you are there yet. You are not. And so you need to also check your ego and check how you respond to certain issues. So for Kelvin Boy, I felt his responses were totally unnecessary.
Kelvin, isn't this for the thinking of Kelvin Boy? Okay, I mean, I need to respond so that we can keep the hype going. The beef and the discussion would make me relevant. Isn't this another case of?
I don't think so. So now, like initially I said, people are fighting for Grammys and all that. These are small things that are not. We the artists are not. It's not getting them there. I mean, I think that no matter what, Stone is big.
Yeah.
No matter what, so it's better if he is doing that. Fine, it can. It doesn't. I mean, I understand, but for me, I'm speaking for Kelvin. I think that you have to just lay low. And then
but
just
if you make a point that no matter what, Stone is big, is it the typical? Does it feed into the African saying that only penny in the asema only bim?
Yes, of course, because looking at the in the Honamna. Everybody knows that you got your shine, you got everything. Me personally, I think you have to just keep quiet. There's no need for you to beef, and then your name will be there. Kelvin Boy has a lot of things that can keep him there, can keep him like going a lot. And then I've been doing stuff together, like so I know what Kelvin Boy can do. It's not about this beefing, and then even the beefing is going on the wrong direction. Now on shutter abe close, so seeing the attack from different angles. So how is it going to affect your career? Because right now, no, this you see, Stonebwoy sunya stage ebi I only know the same show. Even there's going to be some shaky stuff because these fans are some way. Because we need to share backstage and answer be at the same but we bit my be quite a ball. Because of say we need the same show because of say be one na make no. So yes be be you but just in case. So me I think say you should just lay low, create on one cause fan base, then focus on how best I don't know you will get there. I don't think that this one will make the name no. You see, because why some international song will be like with some international artists be and no campo is low one can so you just focus on those things now hype any moment they want to hype more
but hype. And yet, if you can't hype isn't this one of
it's seriously it's part of the hype. It's part of the hype.
So he could obviously make good use of the hype.
Yeah, I mean there's nothing wrong with artists actually making moves to generate attention to themselves, their brand and the product that they are pushing, and I'm talking about the songs. So it's okay. If it's part of the hype, we are discussing him now. Yeah. We are giving him leverage. However, you should also be careful about the repercussions. You are actually picking a fight with an artist who is highly placed than you. He's highly influential. He has a bigger clout. He has a bigger connections. And so if you are not careful, yes, you get the hype and all, but he might hurt your connections and how you maneuver your way in the industry, and that's dangerous.
Okay, Kwesi Ernest. In this Kelvin Boy, Stonebwoy matter, I'm sure a lot has gone on. Yeah. I mean, what would be your advice to?
To
both parties.
And I ask a question to you, Kwesi. between Kevin Boy and Stonebwoy, who benefits?
Who benefit from?
Who benefit from this beefing?
I mean, I think whoever uses the hype well will benefit.
Hey, but I'm saying that you are in class 1, and you are fighting your seniors in GSS 1. Where are you going to get your Pasco? You will need a Pasco from your seniors to guide you through that. Hey, this is the thing. You are not coming to class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, but already you are in class 2, and then you are telling those in GSS 1, you are telling them that they are idiots. I'm sure that, and he's a fine guy, but you see, whatever this hand, anybody that you have once said thank you before, you should be careful the way you treat the person. If you have for once in your life told somebody has done something to you before, and you have looked at the person and said thank you, whether the person gave you a bottle of water or bought you small granite to even chew, that you owe that person something. Whatever the person will do to you, that thing should remind you of what kind of words to choose. I mean, you should go and look at and I'm happy I'm not really hate on those words. You should look at the tweet the young boy wrote on the this. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Seeing a young boy at his age writing that, for me, it looks very dangerous. And I say, hey, Charlie, do you care for your career at all? You will come and see, grow. You will grow. All of us here will grow. One day you see all of us with gray hair. You will see us coming here with walking stick.
I'm
telling you. But are you not in this town? Didn't you see President Kufuor when he was sworn into office? A giant man standing. Have you seen him today? He's an old man holding some clutches. That's a walking stick.
Yes.
It's supposed to be so. All of us will grow.
Yes.
So anybody that will look at him and then try to ridicule him, you too, a time will come, it will come to a 10. And even the statement that Stonebwoy even made. These musicians, I don't know, when they hold the microphone, I think that there's some special spirit that comes into them. They become like evil spirits when they are holding the microphones. Because you did not make this statement. Let me give you a small background story. Do you know an artist in Ghana called Yellow Sisi Day for Corner?
I know that.
Good. I want you to go to Nigeria with your cameras and go and find out the background of Abechebe Kofi Samen in Nigeria. I tell you.
Huge.
I'm telling you, he was like Wizkid.
Yeah. Even City Boys.
Yes.
City Boys, Nanampedu.
City Boys. Go and ask about their background.
But then thank you.
Let me tell you,
was huge.
This man I'm talking about, this man I'm talking about, let everybody go and do research. Yellow Sisi Day for Corner. All the rhythms this Flavor Shelter are playing, go and trace the rhythm. It is from that man, Abechebe Kofi Samen. I'm telling you. And as at the time when he was coming from Nigeria, he drove almost about 10 buses from Nigeria to Ghana to come and settle here. Go find out. Has anybody asked of an artist we call KK Kabobo? I had the opportunity of working with him. I was one of his boys in those years. Nyati Nyati girl. Nyati Nyati girl. In those times, it was as big as anything. So if you're an artist, and Nana Pedu has not even come and declared himself that it will take 40 years or 50 years for Ghana to have his replica.
So we are talking about the 40 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
If Nana Pedu has not even spoken, if Amachi Dede has not even spoken, if Felix Owusu, all these giants, Uhirimu Besonsu, were you in Accra here?
Yes.
Obaba J. Adofu, Shobo, he was the one who did a song, and then there was earrings. The song produces earring, produces t-shirts, slippers, bathroom soap. They even wrote a shop. It was branded. The song came with a package like that. These men have not even spoken that it will take 40 years for Ghana to produce their replica. And then small Morgan Heritage collaboration. Morgan Heritage collaboration. You say what? It will take 40 years for Ghana to produce your type. Man, look at how your small boy self, your own camp small boy, Kevin Boy is even rubbing Twitter with you. Zio, even if he want to measure himself, so he should look at even what is happening.
Let's look at that tweet. I think what Kelvin Boy put out, and then so this boy said, "Anyway, you didn't call me underground out of pain. you see underground way they play shows every weekend before Fanfule Zala. Okay, all right.
It's totally it's totally disrespectful. Let's face the fact.
So doesn't this like you mentioned earlier, doesn't this give credence to the fact that, or doesn't this vindicate the comment Stonebwoy made, that and all of these undergrounds where they know they respect, I mean, blah blah blah, it clearly vindicates Stone's position on that. And to be fair, I think for that statement, it's an what do you call it?
But hold on.
Okay, by the way, he used upcoming artists. I mean, I think it's genuinely.
Is not upcoming.
No, see, the point is,
Let's just say that
Kelvin Boy is not an upcoming artist. So let's admit the fact that it was a shade to Kelvin Boy.
But again, I understand.
But he is not an upcoming artist.
So my question to you is that isn't this out of experience from somebody like Stonebwoy, who has been there, who's been an underground, who's been an upcoming, and has gotten there, say that, hey, all of you upcoming artists where they respect, blah 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 blah. Isn't it like a fair opinion or a fair comment to make?
Well, you see, there's always a background to a story. When we know the background to this story, we know what triggered this commentary.
So, but for the background,
of course, we would have classified as a general comment.
Okay.
But we know where it's coming from. You understand? And that is what makes it wrong. However, Kelvin Boy is not an up-and-coming artist. He's an artist who's been through the doldrums and has risen to mainstream.
Won awards.
Yes, he's not a bona fide star yet.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not an up-and-coming artist. So he should have taken it within his stride and proved to Stonebwoy that, listen, I am not an up-and-coming artist. I am a mainstream artist and I'm doing my bit. So instead of coming up with those scathing tweets, prove us wrong by actually giving us the work, put in the work, and let us see the craft.
Because so far there's beef with that music.
Exactly.
There's beef with that music to go by it.
And for me, I think he was totally wrong with those tweets. I mean, the second one, this one quite even mild. The second one where he goes by Stonebwoy is a weak soul and all. For me, I thought that was silly.
Okay. All right. So, like Kwesi Ernest, we'll wrap up on this discussion with a 40-year thing. I clearly disagree with that. Like Kwesi Ernest is trying to mention, you was your take.
Oh, I have written a detailed article on that matter, which comes out tomorrow in the graphic showbiz in my column. However, let me just encapsulate what I wrote in my column that comes out tomorrow. I feel the comment was extremely outrageous. It was frivolous and it was preposterous. Because listen, it came out from a place of ignorance. Stonebwoy did not show appreciation to the industry, and he definitely did not show respect to the industry. Listen, I will just summarize it. Shatta Wale was accepted generally by Ghanaians in 2013. And I'm using the Ghana Music Awards because we all know it's the most popular award scheme, and so when you get in there, it's arguably perceived that you've reached. So if Shatta Wale actually came into the scene in 2014, as in the resurgence of Shatta Wale, 2014, we are in 2019. How many years? 5
years.
Yeah. Stonebwoy actually emerged and won the Ghana Music Awards Artist of the Year in 2015. 2019. How many years? 4 years. Sarkodie actually emerged and made a mark in the Ghana Music Awards in 2008. He's virtually done 10 years.
Yes.
So if Stonebwoy has done 5 years, he's been able to amass some huge fan base. He's able to do whatever he's doing, producing good songs, winning awards, getting the international guests within 5 years. Shatta Wale within 5 years. Sarkodie within 10 years. How dare you actually walk on stage and tell us that it will take us 40 years to find your like? Does it make sense to you?
No.
It took you 5 years. It took another 4 years. It took somebody 10 years. And you are telling us that it will take 40 years. 40 you mean say okay 10 back 10 back 4.
Yeah. 4 decades.
I mean that's insane. You know what that means? Okay, so I break it down into talent, progression, and critical mention. With regards to talent, Stonebwoy is trying to tell us that we are, as Ghanaians or as an industry, we lack talent. And so for 40 years, we will be unable to get talent like himself, Shatta Wale, and Stonebwoy. Boss, does it make sense?
Okay.
Wait, I'm not done. Progression.
Take your time.
Progression.
Take your time.
Progression. So, this industry, we ensured that these three guys progress from being underground or up and coming artists to mainstream artists to bona fide stars. Who did that?
The industry.
We did.
Yeah.
Plus their effort.
Yeah.
So is he trying to tell us that the same industry who ensured that we saw their progression from underground artists within a space of 10 years, we cannot ensure that we get this same crop of artists in. Now, when it comes to critical mention, these people have been able to move from with their talent. They progress and now they have critical mention. So we did that, plus their effort. So is he trying to tell us that it will take us 40 years to ensure that they get we will get a different crop of artists that will get a critical mention? I mean, obviously, that statement probably he did not really analyze it before it came out of his mouth.
Okay, Arnold. Guys, forgive me. Let me stay with Arnold.
No, stay with him for a while. Yeah.
Isn't it the case that the gentleman made that statement in that unison that it will take you 40 years to find a period or an era where you will have a similar or a certain Shatawale, a certain Sarkodie, and a certain me at the same time?
You see, you guys try to. He didn't say the same time.
Galacticos.
If you like, play the tape. Even he didn't say the same time. He said it will take 40 years to find myself, Shatawale.
Yeah, so you mentioned
no, he didn't say same time.
No, I'm just saying. So I'm just asking a question.
Let's even say the same time.
Yes.
How will it take us 40 good years? It is not it's not 4 years old.
Yes,
it is not 14 years old.
No,
it is 40 years. It's like Israelites moving all the way to Canaan.
That is how the Israelites were on the wilderness.
40 years. And you see, I think they forget easily that we've had a generation where we had their likes before. You see, the point is, we should also understand and appreciate the fact that every season and its mechanism and machinations. I mean, of course, you cannot compare what we have now to the 2000s and the 1990s.
Yeah.
However, we had Obrafo.
Lord Kenya.
We had Lord Kenya. You see, if you go back and see the exploit that Lord Kenya did there, it was huge. He talked about TikTok. When it comes to international recognition, TikTok actually garnered international recognition in his time. What these guys are doing is just an upgrade. Talk about streets. Before Shatawale came, there was a king of the streets.
Wow.
There was a king of the street who, when he walks, the level of clamor, the level of people that really mob him, it was Kwesi. We've seen it before. So Sarkodie is only an upgrade of Obrafo. Shatawale, with all his controversy and quirkiness, is an upgrade of Kwesi. Stonebwoy obviously is an upgrade of Samini. So are you trying to tell me that we can also, within the next 10 and 15 years, not get the upgrade of Stonebwoy, an upgrade of Shatawale, and an upgrade of Sarkodie? Come on.
I know you will get there. I know you will get there. That's the part I was waiting for.
No, let's face facts. I mean, see, if you do that, you are not giving the industry a certain level of respect. Because you see, we've been here, and we actually monitored the progression from when you were up and coming all the way to when you became a mainstream star to where you are now. Definitely, we will still be here and ensure that another person goes through the same process.
So
what are you talking about?
So Stonebwoy, if you look at the mathematics, I think it took 12 months for Ebony to become big. Ebony, it took 12 months for Ebony to become big, and it took the same almost like 12 months for Wendy Shea. These are latter day saints. These are latter day saints. Guys,
you know what's interesting? I mean, in that mix of Stonebwoy and Kelvin Boy, I mean, when they were cool, Stonebwoy had once introduced him as his prodigy. You get what I mean? Obviously, trying to tell you how there's a lot more talent in the industry that are perhaps. I mean, somebody actually said that. Listen, if you go to the ghettos, if you go to on the streets, there are people that are better than these people. That's the Stonebwoy mentioned. So I mean, let's just take a glimpse of what Stonebwoy actually said. Then we can come back and then wrap up on that one. Okay.
The way he even said the it was an indication to somebody.
Let's say, the upcoming presenters are the way. But you see, I want us to talk about the national assets bits of the whole discussion. That I'm sure Arnold would agree.
No, you don't go to Arnold first. Come to the local department.
Okay,
it's very funny, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that his definition of the national assets, though, whether because he's proud of singing with the national flag.
But I think once he's exporting Ghanaian culture out there to the international market.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, that it will be exciting to know his definition of national assets. National assets,
in general terms, the Black Stars, when they are going to play tournaments, because they are representing their country, they get all of these money pushed to them.
Fantastic. If that's the mentality, then of course, sure. But then, if you are national assets, and just 6 months back, if this national asset, we know what this national asset costs our nation. 6 months back, the Guns and Ammunition Awards that happened at the Dome. If national assets were going to music awards with having pistols in their pocket and coming to stand on this stage and say they are national assets, for me, it's also questionable. You must, if you're a national asset, you must have your character also in check in terms of what you do out there to give us that kind of that definition of national asset you're talking about. And if he is now making this statement, then one of these days they should also be able to boldly come out to the public and apologize for their behavior as national asset, to how they ruined the whole 20 years Ghana Music Awards anniversary.
I think they've done that.
Well, for me, that apology was a bit of a, but anyway, we'll drop that one for the next day discussion. But like I'm saying,
but are you saying you don't agree likes of? I mean, let me put it in this context. Are you saying you don't agree that our artists, our musicians are national assets?
Our musicians are national assets. Protect them. Good.
Yes.
But like I'm saying, the manner to which he said it means that, as Yediomokabi said, we owe them, like, we should go to their doorsteps and fund them. And then because they are national assets, if we don't like, and look at how he said it.
Yeah.
If you like, protect. If you like, throw away.
But that
is a rude.
Okay.
It's a rude it's a rude presentation.
Okay. All right.
It's a rude presentation, and I believe that I'm sure that his temperament was a bit high.
Yes.
And I'll forgive him.
Yes.
I know Stone. He's down to earth person. I won't sit here and then maybe say anything. No, he's a down to earth person, and I can bet you that on that platform that night, a lot of things were bothering him.
Okay.
And
all right.
It was one of the instances that maybe his tempers got the best out of him, and then he started making all this comment, especially with this pronouncement of underground and all this type of thing.
Okay.
Regardless, he did a beautiful show on that night.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Let me just do a quick break and then we'll come back. I'm just doing a break. Let me do a break. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.